In this video, we're going to be talking about the back squat versus the front squat and which one you should be doing. Hey, this is Ben from Barbell Coalition here. Today we're going to be talking about the front squat and the back squat and the differences and the similarities between the two. So when it comes to strength training, we all know that squats are the king of all strength exercises. But once in a while, the debate comes up whether or not they should be front-loaded or back-loaded for athletes, which one has the bigger benefit for athletes, and today we're going to dive into that a little deeper. And like most instances, when it comes to athletes picking out exercises for their training programs, the number one priority has to be the transfer of that movement to on-field movements. So both variations use basically the same amount of muscles, but depending on where the bar is loaded, whether it be on the front or on the back, the emphasis on which muscles are stimulated the most is going to shift. So we need to look at the movements being performed on the field, figure out certain joint angles, what muscles are being used most, what are the movements that are occurring the most, and try to strengthen those areas in the weight room. In a back squat, we're shifting a lot of the emphasis to our hips and our glutes and our posterior chain, while in the front squat, loaded on the front of the body, a lot of that emphasis is going to go to the quadriceps, the upper back, and the core. Generally speaking, if you're a power athlete, like most sports are, and your sport involves a lot of jumping, a lot of sprinting, whether you front squat or back squat, they're both going to transfer super well over to your performance. But now let's say we have a baseball player who's constantly throwing overhead. For this athlete in particular, we're going to need both internal rotation and external rotation of the shoulder for proper performance. So for this athlete, I probably would not give them back squats because with their hands on the bar, what it does is it rotates the shoulder into external rotation. So if I constantly have a pitcher in external rotation, what's going to happen is their internal rotation is going to lack. So when they go to pitch, they're going to be more prone to rotator cuff injuries. So in that case, a front rack squat would probably be the best option for them. Now we can look at a lineman whose primary focus is to be as strong as possible coming off the line against the opposition. Big focus is going to be on hip strength, glute strength, hamstring strength. An athlete's always going to be able to back squat more than they can front squat for the most part. So if my priority with my athlete is to build crazy strength in the legs and I don't have any specific mobility demands to worry about, back squats are going to be a good option for that. For most athletes, especially power-based athletes, it's my opinion that you should be doing some variation of Olympic-style lifting in your training program. So let's say you're in a block of training where you're working on improving your Olympic lifts. Well, then in that case, a front squat would definitely be the better option for you because that'll translate better to the positions found in a power clean, for instance. When it comes to choosing between the back squat and the front squat for your training, it's all going to come down to your goals as an athlete. So when you're training for a sport and you're thinking, what exercises should I do? What should I prioritize? I only have these days to train, whatever it might be. The priority needs to be exercises that translate best to your movement on the field, period.